So today we have a few things to do with the car just to kind of get everything set. We're gonna set up the garage door buttons. I didn't know this car actually has a built-in home-like system, so we're gonna pair that up there. Also, of course, we're gonna take the Supra flag down and hang up the Lamborghini flag now. Still on the Supra, of course. That's just not gonna be sitting inside any longer. And then we've gotta inspect any damage from the drive-in. That was about an 11-hour drive. Should have been 9, but we had some bumper-to-bumper traffic in the dark, which wasn't that fun. But let's check out this front. And we got the OG, the 2004 Gallardo, really nice with the 2014. And we looked it up. I got that when I was 11 years old for Christmas. So this was 18 years in the making to buy this car. So front trunk, we did a pretty good job. We had a backpack full of some stuff. And then, as you can see, just our jackets on this side. Didn't exactly clean out the car because, well, we got home so late. But we got some t-shirts and everything from the dealer, so that was really cool. And some more food that we didn't eat, extra bagels. One thing I want to do is remove this shelf in here, this divider, because it kind of is useless for given how small the trunk is. We don't really need that. So let's work on the garage door buttons. I believe all I have to do is hold down these outer ones for about 5 seconds, and then I'll hold this one up to that, and then we will learn it up there. And I gotta go to the headlight. It worked! This has been a long time coming. All right, now let's take a look at this car in the sunlight. See how it did for the trip that we were on. Got a little dirty, as you would expect. No damage or any new chips or anything like that, but we did hit a lot of bugs, especially being white. You can definitely see all those specks. Luckily it's just bugs, it'll wash off. One thing I'll have to do, the plastic here needs some back to black. You can see how it looks a little kind of ashy, I guess you would call it. Now we did a little over 600 miles in the car, and we averaged over 20 miles per gallon, like 20.6, which is actually pretty impressive. This car can go over 400 miles on a tank, and it was about a $65 fill-up. We did that twice, which was from about 1/4 of a tank. And then for our 2 plane tickets, we each had some points. So our plane tickets were each only about 160 bucks. So those were our traveling expenses. We bought some pizza as well, which is much cheaper than getting this car shipped. And I wanted to see the car before I bought it. And do an adventure like this, you only buy your dream car once. You only buy your first Lamborghini once. So I had to do it that way. Wanted to do a road trip. And we really did have a blast. If we didn't have the extra 2-hour delay on the airport and the extra 2 hours of bumper-to-bumper traffic, I think it would have been a little bit smoother of a trip. We were getting a little bit tired as about 10 or 11 rolled by. And then of course getting in at 1 was kind of a long haul. But nonetheless, a fun trip, car did great. So before we go ahead and take the car out for a spin, drive it on some of my familiar roads, that's kind of a minor cleanup, just getting it kind of cleaned up from yesterday. Still need to clean the exterior, just wipe down all the bugs and probably just do a full car wash. One thing, here's that iPod I mentioned. So this was in my Scion TC. It still works, battery might be dead right now, but this thing still works. So at least I will have my old school high school music in this car. All right, so that's plugged in, and the old iPod. Honestly, crazy to see. This was in my Scion TC, my Genesis Coupe, and then I think by the time I had the 370s, this had Bluetooth. But nonetheless, hopefully we get a little bit of music in here now. And lastly, we're just gonna pop these tabs off, get this divider out of the car. So with those 4 out, this thing pops right out. I love how this is Lamborghini's solution to not having to put a latch in here, but we just way increased our trunk space. Now we can fit larger items without trying to smush them in between. So setting off in my Lamborghini, day 1, full day now, owning the car. Yesterday was like a 21-hour travel day. It is definitely a really cool car. Of course, I like the car. Things I liked about it on the road trip, this is gonna sound silly, but the cup holder that is in this car is one of my favorite things. I am a water addict. I always have a bottle of water like this size, and this cup holder is perfect. It fits so perfect for my water bottle. I can always have it with me. That is like maybe like a $1,000 option, I think, from brand new. I know that's what it is on the Huracan. If you don't have that, you have just a little glove box, which you can't even fit a modern cell phone, so it'd be pretty useless. So that was a really good plus to see. front end lift, the nice interior with the smooth leather. I like the perforations, you got red stitching, so it's a really cool spec. I love the red accents. And I mentioned at the end of the Collection A video, there's a lot of similarities in this car to the GTR. So if you're new to the channel, I had a 2014 R35 Nissan GTR. I owned that for 5.5 years, sold it towards the beginning of this year, and then I guess 6-7 months later, I'm now into the car that I planned on buying. And I like how this, like the GTR, has that old school feeling. It's very raw, very mechanical. You have to work to drive this car. To me, that's the fun factor. This thing is way faster than I thought. I was thinking this was gonna feel really slow, honestly, compared to the GTR. In a drag race, this would lose, but this is fast enough, raw enough to where I don't even ever think that this is slow. It feels so well balanced the way it drives. I mean, you get up to 70, 80 without even thinking. I didn't even do full throttle redline shifting on our drive home yesterday, and it just takes off. It is so cool. Now, this is the first time taking turns. We've just done highway and city driving. This handles good. Wow, that is unreal. Man, this is the first time taking turns. Wow. That is really cool. It carries the weight so well. It handles so nice. My wife and I really noticed the steering in this is really heavy. It's mechanical, hydraulic, old school steering. It is so different than the S3 and the Supra, how those are, you know, electronic, just so easy where you just do whatever you want. This car, you have to like earn it to drive it well. One thing that really surprised me with this, it can break loose. It's the rear wheel drive version, as you know. This is the LP550-2, and somehow the rear end can get out from under you, especially if the tires are cold. It's like 80 today, but gosh. This car is so fast. Oh man. Oh man. It didn't really like hit me yesterday buying this car and driving it home. I was too busy with just being so nervous and anxious, feeling the traffic, getting out of city. Like, I'm not used to like city driving, which actually wasn't the worst. So many emotions to kind of go through in one day, but man, driving it now though, gosh. It sounds incredible. I love it. I absolutely love it. Holy crap. Wow. And it just goes. Man. Oh, this is going to be an interesting ownership. Oh, man. Oh, man. This is cool. This is cool. This was worth the 18 years of dreaming about it. Gosh. Wow, this is fun. This is the first time driving this car. Tail end came out a little bit. Cannot wait to take this to the mountains. gosh. Oh man, I think the smile says it all. This is cool. This is too cool. All right, well, fun little joyride in the car on the roads that I know. That is awesome. That experience is freaking awesome. Oh my gosh, that is cool. So one thing on our trip home yesterday with the 2 gas stops, some bathroom breaks, food stops and things like that, we probably talked to like 10 different people, just people asking about the car. One guy had never seen a Lamborghini in real life, so of course taking photos of it and all that cool stuff. I think that is one of my most exciting things that I'm excited for about this car, is to showcase this car and let people see it and just talk to people about kind of how I did it, you know, my story with this car. So it's gonna be really cool. That's gonna be one of my favorite things about it, is just hopefully I can use this car to motivate others to do something different to be able to achieve a car like this. And literally the day before we came out and bought this, there was a guy who commented on one of my GTR videos 2 years ago, and he replied to that thread the day before I bought this. 2 years ago, he commented on a GTR video and said, one day I want to buy a GTR. Of course, I replied, make it happen, you got this, you know, hard work, you can do it. 2 years later, he replied the other day and said, guess what, this weekend I'm going to buy my GTR. So that was amazing, crazy timing. The day before I bought this, you know, this guy commented that. So it's gonna be really cool just to be able to use this car to hopefully motivate others, because in the last 10 years, watching all the big YouTubers who particularly own Gallardos, other Lambos, McLarens, Ferraris, Porsches, that motivated me so much the last 10 years. Just seeing people enjoy these cars, going to car shows, talking to owners of these, has just motivated me to work my butt off and to budget like crazy. And it paid off. So I hope the new generation, next generation of car people, hopefully some of you view my content on this car and get pumped like I did. But we're gonna call it a day. I'm gonna wash the car up, clean her up, and that is gonna be it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for plenty more content on the Lamborghini, of course the Supra, RS3, we got more info on it. Our car is in a shipping container coming to the USA, so that should be here within a month, and we'll have the RS3 and the Lambo together, which is funny because the RS3 has half the engine. It's the 5-cylinder, which is half a bank basically of this car, which will be really cool. Anyways, that is it. I'll see you guys in the next video.